Good morning, you guys. Happy Monday. It is the start of a brand new week. I just pulled up. I got my pre workout here, so I'm gonna be sipping on this a little bit while we get into our morning chit chat. So it'll be in my system ready to go. Okay, you guys, let me tell you something. This is what I learned. Listen, I'm all about giving you guys the tea, giving you guys what I've learned over these past few years that has really just helped me vibrate high, be very energetic, magnetize what I want, attract what I want, keeping my energy high. I'm all about that because it really does work. Manifestation is real. One really, really, really big thing that I learned on my few years of being on my mental health journey is a lot of times the reason why you're not where you want to be isn't necessarily not necessarily because I feel like we're all capable. Like as long as you are, in good health, you know, I feel like we're all capable of doing great things. But a lot of the reasons as to why you are not able to reach the goals that you want to reach is because, believe it or not, you are around way too many people. When I started to isolate myself, and see, people think that when you're by yourself, it's gotta be boring, you're sad, you're depressed. That's not true, you guys. I am very fulfilled. I am not depressed. I truly have become my own best friend. I don't need validation from other people like I once used to. And we're gonna get into all of that. But when you spend a lot of time with other people, you end up taking in the opinions of others, right? So I have examples for days. I told you guys I used to be someone who always needed external validation before I could do anything. Like I needed to, it's kind of like I needed to ask people for permission with any idea that I had. I had to get a poll and see what this person say, what this person say, what this person say. And I would base my actions and my final decisions based off of what other people said. And the crazy part about it, you guys, I was asking people who weren't trying to go where I was trying to go, who weren't trying to make the type of money I wanted to make, who hadn't even been where I have already been. Like it made no sense whatsoever. But this is how I used to live. Like I really used to do that. So I could pitch an idea to someone. Prime example. I told this one girl I used to be friends with years ago. This was years ago before COVID. I was like, I think I want to start a YouTube channel. What do you think? And she was like, why would you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I just be seeing people doing YouTube and they make a lot of money and it looks like fun. You can kind of do whatever you want to do. Like you could do makeup, hair. I wasn't even on a weight loss kick back then. But I was like, you do makeup, hair, try on hauls. Like, I don't know. It just seems like fun. And she was like, I heard that's really hard and most people fail. Like, if I was you, I would not even waste my time. You know, it's crazy. I didn't even waste my time. I didn't do it. I'm on it now, right? I've been on YouTube every single day for the past year now on my other YouTube channel, but I didn't do it. I let her thoughts and opinions dictate what I did because I wasn't mentally strong enough to just do what I wanted to do, what seed was planted inside of me. We talked about this yesterday. I have another example. For the longest time in my middle school years and in my high school years, no, it was really in my high school years. I always knew I was black. I never thought I was white. Okay, growing up, I always knew I was black, but I never looked at the skin tone of my black before. Like I knew I was black, but I never considered what shade of black I was. It wasn't until I got to high school where I was picked and teased for how dark I was. And the girls who were picking and teasing on me, they weren't even light skinned girls. They weren't white girls. These were other brown skinned girls, like girls who were like a hair lighter than me, literally like a hair. So that already lets you know they were insecure about their skin tone. But I used to start to get teased by them, and then that's when I started to hate how dark I was because of the opinions that other people were putting in me. And then once I started to notice that not everybody's black is the same black, I started to see on TV how they didn't have girls that were my skin tone. I started to then notice, like in society, how dark skinned girls are treated in comparison to light skinned girls. But none of that had even came to my attention until I started getting picked on, until I started to let the opinions of other people dictate how I feel about myself. See, when we're born, we're not born with all of these thoughts and opinions. People project how they feel onto you. And then most of the time, if you're not mentally strong, you begin to accept their opinions about you and how you should feel about you. Same applies. I've talked on my other YouTube channel about, I have cellulite and I don't hide it. It is what it is. But I don't allow people's projections of how they feel I should feel about my cellulite on my thighs dictate what I choose to wear. If I like how I look, if it looks good on me, in my opinion, that's all that matters. But do you see what I'm saying by when you're around too many people, those are the things that start to happen. You start to take in and accept other people's opinions, other people's failures, and you start to place it on you. And it shouldn't be like that. The only way you're going to get out of that is by changing your environment and spending time by yourself. See, when you're around a whole bunch of winners, like, okay, back to the YouTube example. Let's say somebody came to me because I'm on YouTube. I am a content creator. Like I'm really trying to take my content and my platforms to the next level. Like I'm really on that type of time. So if someone came to me and said, "I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. What do you think?" I'm all for it. I'm hyping them up. And this has happened. Like, I have met so many people in the different gyms that I've gone to who have come up to me because they see me with my camera doing my gym vlogs and talking about how they want to create content. And I get so excited for them. I root them on. I get their social. Anytime they show up on my news feed, I'm liking, I'm commenting. I am really excited for them. I'm really excited for them. But that's because this is what I do. And I understand that a lot of times you need people. Well, you don't need. Need is a very strong word in my opinion. But a lot of times having people around you who root you on and support you makes that much of a difference. But you have to remember who you're asking to support you. Okay? So when you are around other people who aren't doing anything, who are very pessimistic, who are very insecure, who have put limitations on their own greatness, that's the type of energy you're going to get from them. But when you are by yourself, there's no one to consult. There's no one to get opinions from. The only opinion that you can get is your own. And your own opinion is that of God. So that's what I'm saying. You have to get into the mindset of understanding that being by yourself is a very powerful thing. Anytime I ever ask someone their opinion on something, it never went well. It never went how it should have went because they don't know, you guys. A lot of times people don't know, but they're not going to let you know that they don't know. They're just going to tell you but in their mind, they think they know. See, that's the thing. It's not like some people are deliberately telling you what they don't think or deliberately telling you the wrong thing to do because they don't want you to be great. But also, too, you guys, a lot of people don't know, okay? A lot of people just don't know. But instead of them telling you that they don't know, they're going to make it seem like they know, and they're going to end up telling you stuff that they think is right, and it's never right. It's never right. I have noticed that whenever I've asked someone for their opinion on something, or if I feel like something's not right with a person, and I'll say it to that person, or I'll say it to someone, they'll be like, "No, I think you're overthinking." I was always right. I was always right. Has that ever happened to you? Please don't let me. I have always been right. And I know this for a fact, like just with other people's energy, people that come into my life, or, people who are trying to get to know me or whatever. And I started to catch this vibe. And this was back in the days. So I would ask who, I would be like, "What do you think this means? Or what do you think that means?" And they'd be like, "Oh, no, you're just overthinking it." Or, "No, I wouldn't look at it like that." And then the whole time I was right. But see, if I was back then mentally strong and had spent time by myself and knew what I know now about intuition, and when people say you're overthinking, you're not really overthinking, it really is right. If I knew all that back then, I would have never dealt with those people. But that's what I'm saying. Your intuition speaks loudest when you're by yourself because there's no one around to suppress what you're thinking, what you're feeling, right? It's only when you get around other people then they start to put their opinions in on it and then say, "Oh no, you're overthinking," right? Then you start to second guess if you're overthinking or not. So back to reaching your goals. You guys, when you're spending your time around a lot of people, you're distracted. You can't do two things at once. You're very distracted, you're lacking focus. You either want to reach your goals or you don't. You either want to get to the next level or you don't. And the only way to do that is to spend time by yourself, isolate yourself so that you can fully focus. I have spent so much time on myself, you guys. I have accomplished more being by myself these past 4 years than I have ever accomplished by having friends. Seriously, seriously, I have. I truly have. But that's because I don't have outside influences trying to convince me to go out with them, trying to convince me to go out for drinks, doing stuff that doesn't align with my purpose. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that it's not okay to have fun from time to time. That's not what I'm saying. But what I can say for me, this is fun. This is fun. Making content, sitting in front of the camera, just talking about my experiences, talking about what I've learned, making fitness content. This is fun for me. This is truly fun. I would rather be doing this than doing anything with anyone else. Okay. But that's because I have found my purpose. But the only way that I was able to find my purpose was by spending time by myself. See, back when I first wanted to do YouTube, I was telling you guys, giving y'all the example. I didn't know what I was going to do on YouTube, right? I was talking about doing some hair and makeup. That's not even my purpose. That's just what I seen other people doing. That's not my calling. Yeah, I used to like those things, but I never really liked it to the point where I was like really trying to study how to do the perfect sewing, and I never took it to that type of level. But I was going to make a YouTube channel on that because that's what I saw other people do. And if I had did it back then, it would have been really hard for me to stay focused and to stay motivated and to stay consistent, because it's really not that type of content that I was thinking about doing is not true to my soul. Like, that's just not really something that I enjoy doing. So, that part, I never think, I think everything happens for a reason, and things happen when it's supposed to happen, right? When I first got on YouTube and started taking it consistently, I was just strictly doing gym vlogs. I wasn't having any chit chats afterwards, talking about anything. It wasn't even until like 6 months into posting every day and doing gym vlogs where a seed, God, was planted inside of me and told me to start talking about the mental health aspect of weight loss and the things that I had to overcome mentally in order to lose weight. Because it's not just about exercise, it's not just about what you eat, it's also a huge part of your mental health. And as I started talking about mental health, then I started to realize I have spent a lot of time in counseling, and I have spent a lot of time on my own researching psychology, trying to understand, why do I feel this way? Why do I allow people to make me feel this way? Why do people treat people this way? Like, I have spent so much time learning about different things that I've experienced in my own life, and I have become passionate about that. And then I started talking about those things and how it all correlates. And a year ago, I didn't even realize it. But that's because I spent so much time by myself, you guys, that God is able to talk to me. If I had people in my ear distracting me or telling me their problems, then I wouldn't have time to be in silence, to be full of energy and just receiving everything that God is telling me. See, I told you guys I am my own best friend, but honestly, I feel like, when I'm talking to myself, because yes, I talk to myself, I do. When I'm talking to myself, I really feel like I'm talking to God. And it's in those conversations, again, you can call me crazy all you want, but I really do be having full blown conversations with myself. But in those conversations, I'm actually starting to believe that that's God talking to me and telling me, try this, do this. I think you should start doing this. Don't worry about how this is going to work. Just know it's going to work. Seriously, that's how I feel. But I wouldn't have all of that if I was on the phone gossiping for 2 hours a day. If I was texting this person, that person, this person. If I was going to this place, that place, being out and about. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that. So a lot of the times, the reason why you can't find your purpose, you don't know what your purpose is because you're spending too much time around other people, so you don't have any time to listen. You don't have any time to try different things and figure out what you like and what you don't like. There's nothing wrong with thinking you're going to like this, and then you try it for a little while and you realize, you know what? That's just not for me. but you're getting closer. People will look at that as, oh, that's failure. No, that's actually you getting closer to figuring out what is for you. When I started being a content creator, the only type of content I used to make was content for OnlyFans. That was it. And in the midst of doing that, I realized I was literally just doing that for money. It was for money. It was strictly for money because I just wanted to make money. I didn't care about, being happy or being fulfilled. All I wanted to do was make money. And over the months and months and years of doing it, I stopped making content all the time because it wasn't fun. It wasn't fulfilling. I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it. Yeah, I was making money, but it wasn't enjoyable. I do this type of content every single day and don't get paid. Or I'm just now starting to get paid for it. But do you know how many days every day where I wasn't getting paid, but yet I still wanted to do this every single day? That's when you know you found your purpose, when you can do it for free and still enjoy doing it. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, like, of course you have to pay bills, yada, yada, yada. But what I'm saying is, once you do figure out what it is that you would do for free, then you can start to figure out how you can monetize that. But you're never going to figure any of that out if you are constantly around other people. And then you also have to realize, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and it took me the longest time to accept this, but it really is true. Most people, I'll never say all, but most people that you come in contact with, you guys, are very negative people. Like, that's just facts. But it's not their fault. The world we live in is negative. The news, the stuff that goes viral on social media, a lot of stuff is just negative. So it makes sense that people are negative. That's why do you think that videos where people are fighting and hitting each other, why do you think those videos get all the shares? If you go on the Shade Room and you look at the comments, most of the comments that you see is going to be negative comments, people laughing at people. If you go to any post, even my own posts on Instagram for the videos that have gone viral, people have you'll start to see more comments about people talking shit about me than saying anything positive. A lot of people are very, very negative. You cannot have that negative energy and that negative spirit and manifest the life that you want. It's not going to happen. In order to manifest, you have to keep your energy high. And I'll make a whole video on how you keep your energy high. But you have got to keep your energy high. And in order to do that, you have to only be around positive things. I am very selective about the people that I'm around, the people that I talk to, the type of content I consume. The type of content I consume is a big one. Big one. A lot of you guys are consuming content that's not even feeding your mind. It's just complete bullshit. You might be trying to change now because you're watching this video, but if you just think about it, like, when you get on social media, what do you see the most of? That lets you know. That lets you know. For me, it's more self-help stuff. Learning how to be comfortable in your own skin, understanding that it's okay to set boundaries, understanding that it's okay to walk away, stuff like that. Okay, so be mindful of the company that you keep. We've all heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around, and most of the time that's not good. And if you don't have, people who are doing better than you in life, and it doesn't even necessarily mean financially. I think people look at that as only financially. No, I think mentally. I think it's mental, because you can have all the money in the world and be miserable as hell. So for me, I'm looking at it as mentally. Are you more mentally stable than me? Right? And I feel like I have come a long way on my mental health journey. And I feel like I am not, I'll never be 100%. I always think there's room for improvement. But I am a lot further mentally, health wise, than a lot of people that I've come in contact with. So, with that being said, if you don't have that influence of people around you, then it's baby, be by yourself. Spend time by yourself. Learn how to be at peace with yourself. Learn how to be your own best friend. I'm telling you, stop feeling like you have to be around people because you don't. They're holding you back. They are holding you the fuck back. Be by yourself. And then once you work on yourself, work on your traumas, and stop being toxic if you are toxic, then the universe will bless you with people who have also done the work mentally. And you guys can cultivate each other. But I am done with being around people who drain me, who use me for my resources, who only want to take, but never put back into the pot, who always want me to support them, but they never support me. And they had got to a point where I'll just be by my damn self. And since I have been by myself, I have been thriving. I don't sit around and cry and mope about things that have gone on. I talk to y'all about it because I realized, I learned a lot of people have experienced what I have experienced. I thought I was the only one. And so, being able to get on this camera and talk to you guys has also been fulfilling because I'm realizing and learning that a lot of people are going through the things that I've gone through. So it's a way for me to talk about it, and it's a way for people to receive it and change their own lives. Okay? But you have got to get in the mindset of being by yourself. It's not boring. You're not going to be depressed. You might be at first because you got to face some shit. Like, a lot of times you're trying to run and avoid stuff. You don't want to face the fact that you might have been a shitty person to someone. But if you want to get better, you've got to spend time by yourself, and you gotta take that shit head on, like a man or like a woman. Like, you gotta own it. Like, you have got to get in the mindset that being by yourself is going to make you stronger. And there's no timeline on healing. That's the other thing I learned is I would be like, why am I so upset about this? This was a month ago. This was 6 months ago, whatever. There's no timeline on healing. There's no timeline of when you have to get over it. You're going to get over it when you're ready to get over it. But in the meantime, feel that shit. Some days are going to be bad. Some days you'll feel good. Some hours may be bad. Some hours may be good. It could literally be a flip. Like, I could be good in the morning, and then I could be in the shower and then start crying. Like, but that's healing. That's healing. So don't look at it like something's wrong with you. Nothing's not wrong with you, but you have to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and stop running away from it. And a lot of us are running away from it by being around people so we don't have to think about it. And so when you're constantly around people, now you're taking in their energies. And you got to think too, if you're around a whole bunch of broken people, which a lot of people are broken, they are fueling your brokenness. Think about how many, if you're around people who are toxic, they're going to condone the behavior that you may be exhibiting because they're toxic. So they don't see anything wrong with what you're doing. You subconsciously know that what you're doing is wrong or whatever, but you're around other toxic people, so they're like telling you, like, yeah, I would have did that too. Like, you get what I'm saying? Or just with anything. Just with anything. I'm just using that as an example. So if you want to change, yes, it's going to be hard by yourself. Change is hard. Change is very, very hard. And when you're by yourself, you have to face your demons. You have to deal with your traumas. You have to deal with what's been hurting you, what's been making you feel the way you've been feeling. I used to be a very lost soul. I used to be very negative. I used to be very pessimistic. I set limitations on myself. Like, I used to be all those things. I used to be very toxic. So, I was around other people who were toxic. So they didn't see anything wrong with my behavior. But subconsciously, I knew that wasn't right. You get what I'm saying? I knew that how I was treating people wasn't right. But the reason why I was treating people the way I was treating people was because that's how I felt about myself. But once I started to, be by myself, I started to work on it, went to counseling, started to feel better about myself, and now I only project love because that's truly how I feel about myself. But you're never going to get to that point if you can't spend time by yourself. Stop thinking that you need besties. You don't need besties. Their besties are holding you back. Okay, if you want to really live in your purpose, if you really want to figure out how you can quit your 9 to 5, if you really want to get up every day excited as hell to be alive, the only way to do that is to find your purpose. But the only way you're going to find your purpose is to spend time by yourself. And the only way you're going to be able to spend time by yourself and be happy and be at peace with it is if you heal your traumas. So I hope that helped. Anybody who's looking to do that, it's a beautiful path. I know the universe is going to bless me with a good group of women who have done the help or who have done the healing, who are very supportive, very energetic like myself. It just is not my time yet. I'm still working on me. I'm still locked in my business. I have fun with what I do. I look forward to every single day. Even though I do the same exact thing every single day, I love what I do. But again, the only reason I was able to get there was because I started to isolate myself and started to focus on Jasmine. All right? I'm going to drink this pre-workout, y'all. And I will see you guys in the gym on my other YouTube channel. Bye.